Alright, we're live.
Live. Oh God.
Go, Prometheus, go.
Welcome to episode the B's of the seventh Conflux Communicast. Joining are some obnoxious people who never leave me alone. Burrito Senor.
You're the one that came calling to us. Let's get that
Roland,
straight.
damn it. If he introduces me, you can't talk, then they'll think you're me.
No
So
one
we
will
have-
ever
That
think
might
I'm
be a
you.
thing for you.
Okay, I'm the handsome
So
one.
in the messy hair and white shirt, we have Burrito Senor, apparently.
No, that is a lie. That is a lie and a slander.
Yeah, anyways, I digress. Quickly, Burrito Senor.
Hello.
He's the guy. He's our resident shoe shiner.
I have shine shoes, and I do have a bundle shirt on.
We have El Burninator, resident burn victim extraordinaire. That's how he got his name. And Roland, who looks like a goddamn mess this morning.
I literally rolled out of bed and coughed on cam.
Roland
And I
is our
still
homeless cameo appearance guy. So that's what he's doing today. We all have coffee, because
And
it's
he sounds
morning,
like Satan.
and we suck.
I have
Yeah.
coffee. We're good.
Alright, so we have some interesting news. Kind of, I mean, depends on your perspective of interesting, but they just wrapped up Gamescom. It's over in France, right?
Germany.
Somewhere over there.
That's right. I forget that whole Europe region is the size of half the United States. So they can just jump around. Because I saw in the last weekly update they had that bridge with all the locks on it, and I believe that's in France. So I got confused.
Omelette du fromage.
It's all
Omelette du
it just fries my brain.
This episode of the podcast brought to you by Dexter's Laboratory. Remember, omelette du fromage.
I don't think
I get it.
That's a reference.
I'm not going to acknowledge it, but I get it.
No, but we did see there's some interesting stuff. We have arguably the largest news is the replacement and re-voicing of all of Dinklebot's audio, replaced with Nolan North, which I believe
Nolanbot.
Nolanbot or
No,
Northbot.
it'll forever be Dinklebot. I'm sorry.
It can't be.
Rest in peace.
It is.
And if I'm not mistaken, Nolanbot is the voice who did the Adventure Sphere in Portal 2.
No kidding.
I
I
think
heard
so.
something. He also did Assassin's
Yeah,
Creed Black
confirmed.
Flag, I heard.
Oh, who was he? I actually played that.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna look up his IMDb.
I'm on it. You guys talk about that stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not
Okay,
talking about anything now.
you look that up. I don't know. I'm excited for it, I guess, because I mean I didn't think Peter Dinklage did. I almost called him Dinkelberg. Dinkelberg. I don't think he did a bad job because of himself. Honestly, I just think they gave him crappy lines, and they didn't give him very good direction because he sounded very monotone. But I thought his voice, his voice was just perfect for it. It seemed like he fit that role very well, and obviously it didn't turn out very well. But I kind of feel like that's Bungie's fault a little bit more. I mean, yeah, they didn't have much voice acting.
I absolutely agree. As someone expressed, writing can only get you, or a voice can only get you so far if you don't have good writing. Which I didn't think was terrible, but it's kind of one of those elements that didn't really fit with the rest of the effort placed within designing and building Destiny.
Well,
That wasn't bad.
I don't know. Who here remembers, which one of us here actually played the alpha? Who here was in the alpha? All of us, I think.
I don't know.
Yep, I was in there.
Okay, well, at least Vern and I then. Vern, do you remember how bad Dinkle's audio was in the alpha?
Do you remember how bad your audio is right now?
Because of the homeless appearance. I can't afford a better webcam.
It was great if you like things that suck.
Well, yeah, I remember it specifically you'd be playing the game, and this was in the alpha, so we were all super excited and super happy
And you
about
get to
like
play about a
walking
quarter
the
of the game
Cosmic
anyway.
Room 20 times. Actually, it's more like 1,000. And you'd be like super immersed in what you're doing, and then Dinklebot would talk, and you'd like instantly get thrown out, and it was just this awful sounding, like halfway robotic, halfway still trying to be human and humorous, but not figuring
Like
out
you
that
right now.
balance. Yes.
But I agree, and maybe we'll see a difference with Nolan North, but well, only time will tell. Which I did confirm he was actually all three of the spheres in Portal 2. He was the Adventure Sphere, the Fact Sphere, and the Space Sphere.
Ooh, space. I want to go space.
He did a bunch of stuff. Apparently, he was in Legend of Korra, which is one of my favorite shows. She's a badass.
Okay,
And,
I get it.
Who's he in that?
just random people.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, Nolan North was Sergeant Ford.
Metal bending cop number 4.
Break in the first 2 Uncharted.
He was what?
Hey, Burn, your audio sucks now.
Yeah,
Not
he's got dozens of things he's voiced for.
He's a very minor character in a lot of major things.
Oh, he's in Crackdown 2. Crackdown 2. Cool.
I mean, did that game really have voice other than the narrator?
Oh man, in
Yeah,
Crackdown
maybe it
2, I was fully immersed. Like, everything going on, this isn't...
I mean, that was a solid game for sure, but it didn't have much.
It was a crap game, but it was so bad it was amazing. I played the shit out of it.
Well, I'm pretty excited for Crackdown 3. Kind of digressing from Destiny, but that's okay because it's Nolan North. And if we're 6 degrees from Kevin Bacon, we're fine. We can talk about anything, really.
I like bacon.
I do enjoy bacon. We should do a bacon cast sometime.
Oh my god. Oh, and you know what goes good with bacon? Omelette du fromage.
We'll have to take your word on that. So we also saw, I believe we had a new trailer released, which is pretty cool.
For the Taken King?
Check that out.
Yeah, real trailer this time.
Yeah, it wasn't just fancy cinematography.
Yeah, well, I was a bunch of my guys at the place I work actually play Destiny, which is kind of cool. And I was talking with one of them, and there's like that final shot where you get all the, I forget what the ships are called, the hive ships, but you got the little hive ships, and then it pans out and you see like the huge ass dreadnought, and it's just like hundreds of times the size of all these other ones. And you know, we have an entire map in that thing because they've released the map. You know how you go to the director, you choose a mission on that planet's map or whatever.
Sure.
They've released it for the Dreadnought, so we know what the areas are called, and it doesn't look small. I mean, we don't know scale, but it looks pretty big.
Yeah.
What I like about it is that they show the Rosetta Comet in front of it at the beginning of the trailer, and that's 1.5 miles wide. And it just looks like a pebble as this enormous ship's coming by. So to give it scale, it's probably like over 1,000 miles long.
So what's going to happen then is we get access to one spot, and then for the next 30 DLCs, we'll just get a little bit more on the Dreadnought.
Yep.
Yes, what Roland was saying, his audio's kind of cutting in and out, is that likely we'll get the landing bay will be from the Taken King, and then each time you open a door, you have to get the next DLC. So that's all. Sorry, Bungie. It's just too easy sometimes.
We love you.
Yeah, we wouldn't be doing this if we didn't like Bungie, but goddamn guys. They also had the Luke Smith interview where they were like answering a bunch of questions about it and stuff. I thought that was pretty sweet.
That one next. I'm watching it. I've been down for a week. I'm watching the trailer right now, and I'll do the next one next.
Well, like I had like a thing that was relevant, something he said, and then as I was saying like, hey, there's an interview, I completely forgot why it was relevant to the trailer, like directly. So I'm kind of at a loss.
Damn it, Burrito.
I'm sorry. Only du fromage.
Yeah. So pretty excited for that. It's coming out soon. And then PAX is only 2 weeks away. I'm going to talk about that forever until next it happens, and then after that,
So excited for
we're
that.
talking about the next one.
You ready to sleep with me, Prometheus?
Let's not
Oh, watch.
create
Yeah.
rumors that aren't true.
I'm gonna start some real gossip here.
Yeah, but it should be interesting. Got to wish DJ a happy birthday if we see him there. Just because,
That already happened.
yeah, it happened. We saw a picture. Has his like creeper face going on. But,
Yeah.
what are you gonna do?
I'm used to it.
And what else do we have? So, and also, we talked about some of the Destiny maps. It would be always refreshing to get more content in PvP. But in the same topic of PvP, Bungie said that they kind of released a sweeping a wave of bans on players who were chronically abusing network statistics, and they kind of refined some of their tactics in the Destiny Operations Center to catch some of these guys. What are you guys' opinion? I saw some complaints, people saying that they're not doing enough, or that they want these people. Some people say they want these players publicly shamed. What's your guys' opinion on that?
Yeah, publicly changing them up to anything. It's a video game. I don't think people care that much.
That's probably because you're still salty. I mean, you'll always be salty, but that's okay. We love you for it. Personally, I did those cybers quite a few times, and most of all my runs were screwed up because one of my teammates would suddenly be kicked out of it. Whether or not that was specifically network manipulation or just the fact that my friends and I have crummy
your mic works.
connections. Yay!
It just started working.
Here you go.
Oh, now it doesn't.
You had to say something.
Damn it! I jinxed it.
Burritos, a peg boy. But I think it's good because
Try talking louder. Maybe that'll fix it.
I think it's good.
No,
It's not helping. It's just more funny.
Back during the Halo era, they banned people a lot, and like Halo was a game you didn't really see that much cheating in because their buddy was really good at catching them. But
Which
then you
Halo?
I'd say like Halo 3.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking. Okay, I'm talking Halo 3 basically. Okay, give me that. Give me that. Halo 3, they were really good about it. They banned people all the time. They had really high standards for it, and you could always check their game history and show them like, hey, you're cheating here. And now we get people posting in the forum like, oh, I was banned and I didn't do anything. I'm gonna do it for mine. And then when we can check their game history and see if they cheated. Sometimes you can't because they're banning for things that we can't see, which is kind of iffy. But based on their history of it, at least in the last few years, I feel like they're probably doing. They had high standards. They didn't wrongfully ban people back then. I'm having trouble thinking that they're actually doing it now.
I have no reason to believe that they're unrightfully banning people. I certainly don't have any insider information into all the actual Destiny stuff, but they monitor a lot of network statistics. What's up?
Like Martha Stewart?
Yes. I'm not doing any inside trading for Bungie, so the fact that I sold all my Bungie stocks yesterday, don't read into that. I'm kidding. They're not a public company, but they do track a lot of network statistics. I got to see the Destiny Operations Center once. It was kind of like it was a closet, but it was pretty cool. And you see the network. What's up?
It was a nice closet.
It was a very nice closet. They actually had
the
back of it. They had the motherboards for all the original Xboxes that developed Halo 1 as wall art. It was pretty cool. I wanted to steal a memory stick from it, but Jerome was right there. He was scared.
You're bigger than him.
No, he's a big
someone who's
dude.
seen Jerome in person. That is not a dude you fuck with.
But
The
When's-
four
When's-
memes do not give him justice.
When is the last time Bungie has actually talked about Jerome, like publicly?
like
Halo
2?
3.
Halo 3.
Well, because I remember the last thing I remember is that they had an interview with Jerome. It was like its own update thing, and they were talking about Jerome and what he does, and his son, and how his son thought it was the coolest thing ever that Jerome worked for Bungie and stuff.
Yeah, I've heard he gets very kind of weird about all the fame because like I'm just a random security guard. Like I don't really know why. Because you're a huge dude with a hammer.
Yeah, the gravity hammer definitely helped propel him into fame.
Sure. For those that don't know, there's a picture of Jerome standing next to a car in a parking lot holding a giant gravity hammer from Halo 3. So that's like what started all that.
Yeah, that was good.
It was great. It was so good.
But,
And he also did voices in ODST. I think he was the kebab
shit.
salesman for Sadie's story, I'm pretty sure.
Huh.
Or if he wasn't the kebab salesman, he was definitely a different character in there, because I know for a fact that he was a voice actor in
That's
Sadie's story.
interesting.
I
Yeah,
didn't know that. Cool.
but I think he's the kebab guy. If you go back and listen to that, don't quote me on the kebab guy thing, but I think.
Well, now your quote will be forever enshrined on YouTube.
I'm trying to look it up.
Can you
'Cause
quote "Only du fromage"?
Oh,
Right.
shut up, Rita.
Hey, I haven't even talked about Dr. Bees yet.
Oh, I gotta know about
what are
Dr.
we gonna do with you?
A handsome family podcast woefully underpopulated by bees. An influx of bees ought to fix that. It's true.
Yeah.
But getting back on topic of the the banning, it's one of those topics that people would love to see these names, these players, kind of strung up in the internet stockade and chastised. But that's kind of one of those slippery slopes of as any company, if you start doing that and you make a mistake, like all of a sudden all the positives you might have gained for saying that you're taking care of all these ne'er-do-wells, it can quickly backfire well beyond a recoverable amount if you publicly shamed someone who was just had a crappy Walmart router that they forgot to put a quarter in the past hour. But
Pretty much.
so you can't do that stuff. It's bad. You just gotta take the higher road and game on. Keep killing bad kids.
BKs.
BKs.
Bringing it back.
Mm-hmm.
Burger Kings.
Sometimes you can't have it your way.
Oh my god, prom plus.
Some days I'm funny. Most days I'm not. We had some new mentors on the. Let's stop talking about Destiny. That's that game, and we talk about the community more. I believe we picked up a new mentor. Maybe I don't know. I could be mistaken.
Who this time?
I don't know.
I barely follow. They bring on new people all the time.
Yeah, I have no idea.
I don't know who it is.
Yeah,
Like,
I keep track of mentors. Sorry, guys.
Is it Dr. Bees?
I think it was Dr. Bees. Dr. Bees is the new mentor. If not, he should be. We
It's
should
true.
create a seventh column account to just go in and help people. It's like, I have error bees. It's like, well, bees can't be a problem, so you must be mistaken.
What's
error
that?
bees
You were
is-
wrong. You were wrongfully banned. An influx of bees ought to help that.
You think this guy's manipulating his network to win? I'm sicking bees on him. God, we're such losers some days.
You got error code weasel. B. You got error code B. My work here is done.
It's terrible.
No, the situation has been made even worse with the addition of even more bees. Anyone who hasn't seen Dr. Bees, please just go to YouTube and watch Dr. Bees.
I think he sent that to me one day, and I I went through it, and I had no idea what the hell was going on.
Well, I only learned of it after the last podcast, and Death linked it to me. Death Incarnate, a guy who was on the last podcast, for those that don't know, he's like, since you were talking about Nick Cage and not the bees, here's a link to a bee video, and I watched it, and I was like, what the hell did I just watch? And then I can't get it out of my head. It's like the best video ever, I swear.
Yeah.
Pretty creepy, though.
In addition, oh god, what is the so Burns showing those
Automaton, the best.
automatons, man. So we'll save that for the next when we do our off-topic cast. We still need to do that, but
Which will be at PAX. Underdog is super excited for that.
are we doing that?
Are you going to have a drunk cast?
No, it's
PAX, and that's just assumed.
TU really wanted to have a drunk cast. I don't know if that's the best example.
Oh, quit being such a killjoy. We can do it. My only issue is I don't have any way to record it. Like, I can bring my Astros and set them up like a mic, but that will work for multiple people. I've tried it before. It's a little weird. It works, but
Yeah, we tried that with the phone last year and just didn't work out. But
we could steal. My brother has a actual mic and all this stuff for it, so maybe
we can sneak into Bungie Studios, go in the Spandex Palace, and do
yes.
animatronic podcast.
I never got to see the Spandex Palace, only the doors. It made me sad.
Ah.
Yeah, they have a. That's their. For those who don't know, the Spandex Palace is Bungie's. What do you call it? 3D motion capture studio.
Okay.
So that's where everyone puts on the green spandex suits and they get those like white dots, and they have parties there in the Spandex Palace. Yeah, we'll have to do that. But, we also have some Carnages coming up today. We have Community Carnages hosting the Halo CE Carnage, which that'll be on Master Chief Collection, but pretty good. I unfortunately would be at a barbecue. I would love to join. I would love to rock out some Halo CE, but he had to do it at 4 p.m. Eastern, I believe, 1 p.m. Bungie time.
Burn plus.
No, you aren't supposed to acknowledge him. Don't encourage him.
Maybe you guys want to jump on that, and I know they need some more players for Blue Team. And everyone knows Blue Team is best team, not like those dirty Reds.
Hey.
The only good red is a dead red. Wait, what?
I can't remember which team I normally play on.
Yeah, the only good red is the dead red. The best orbit is dead orbit, because you can't die if you're already dead orbit.
The best orbit is indeed dead orbit. It's just a fact.
Dude,
So,
I remember...
something we found out is that in kind of changing topics a little bit, but we got our shout out for the community card. They said instead of using faction items in the Taken King, you declare like allegiance to a faction or something. So that means you can actually declare that dead orbit is the best orbit in game.
Yes.
So anyone that doesn't do that is dead to me.
Wait.
I took the words right out of my mouth. Right out of my mouth, I was going to say the same exact thing. If you're not dead orbit, you're dead to me.
Where did they say this? Because this actually excites me. This might actually result in me getting Taken King. Because my biggest gripe, well, one of them.
Yeah,
is,
I mean, so that's kind of a.
Class items, but
let's
you have to use them.
Let's discuss things we could do with factions, because they have this, this framework, this foundation for factions that they don't really employ, except for as just another way to get new items. And we also have community chapters, which are cool, but we're missing a lot of functions. Wouldn't it be cool if they kind of mesh those two together, where like on Bungie.net, your chapter could, or your group, sorry, chapters is, I'm dating myself. I'm a cheap date, but these groups what if you could actually associate each group with a faction, and through like site interaction, like likes, or if you post in the group and that group gets likes or replies or stickied, you could basically earn points towards a faction, or um, basically interact with Destiny through the site.
So, what if, running off that idea then, a lot of games nowadays, especially the ones that come from the really big publishers, I can think of Watch Dogs.
Roland, your mic is not even understandable right now. I'm sorry. I kind of cut you off there. To fill up the dead air from sad about Roland. His thing is frozen. It looks like too. Oh no, you're back. I would be mad if we got something as cool as like site and game interaction before we got member ranks back.
You would be upset if we got that before we got
Before getting something as simple as like the basic group features that we were all accustomed to for like the previous decade. Yeah, I'd be a little upset if they did something.
I miss security roles so bad.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
I'm being called an invisible pink unicorn in one of my groups.
You'd have to speak up.
I do not have to speak up.
Oh, well then, as we were.
So I'll lip sync for Burn.
Oh yeah.
Well, it's true because it sucks right now that the only options are like member, so useless individual, and admin. I guess you technically have owner, but we see some issues where you want to give members more trust, but you make them an admin, and then a year they have a meltdown like Tom Cruise on Oprah, and it's just like, I'm in love with Lincoln, oh my god, it's like wipe the entire group out, and it's just, yeah.
I guess
in the past we were able to establish, our own custom roles and say, they can approve members, or they can kick members, or they can make group posts. And
yeah.
Is that to me? Can you guys not understand me?
No, I got you.
Oh.
I was just gonna say my biggest gripe. Okay, so I have this group, Owners of Katana, shout out, 2007, whatever. We've gone through like 3 different admins throughout that 8-year period, and I was basically the main admin. I have been for like 3 or 4 years now, but I'm not the admin that's been in the group the longest. So even though there's a person who has been in there longer who hasn't logged on in years, he's marked as the founder, so I don't have access to a lot of the features for the group. So I'm like,
Right.
The group's kind of stuck in things. Like I can't do the alliance thing. I can't make it a clan. None of that jazz.
So you could talk. I don't know if
Cosmo can help.
Yeah, Cosmo might be able to help you because one of my good friends, Progo, he runs art and stuff where they generate art and stuff, and they had actually the same exact issue where the founder didn't sign on, and they couldn't access a lot of that stuff. And I mean, it's not a frivolous. There certainly shouldn't be people frivolously asking him, and he might get pissed that I'm, publicly telling him to do this. But he was able to actually override that and give control to the active admin.
Well,
I might have to look into that.
He
Can
just
you guys hear me, by the way?
to Kronos. Kronos just did.
Sorry, Roland, it's still iffy.
Roland,
All the trouble
you're
right
a
now,
stop,
that's my
man.
So Roland, you type, and I'll text a voice for you. Say something.
But if you text the voice for him, you got to do like Siri style or something, or I guess Cortana style now that we have Windows 10.
Oh my god. Let me start on that.
I got Windows 10. I asked her if like, hey, will you be in Halo 5? And she said, did you see how Halo 4 ended? And I cried every time. Roland wants to know, is there a way to tell when the last time someone logged in was?
I mean, like, not publicly.
I don't think so.
Not to the public. I'm sure, Kronos can go in and do whatever he wants. And he was able to, like, physically excised certain groups in the past. You posted questionable material. But,
Yeah, he did that. That happened.
Well, they can do whatever they want with the site.
yeah.
You know.
Activate the God mode switch.
I mean, well, we used to be able to tell, like, if they haven't been on in a year, accounts used to get deleted. That was, like, pre-2011. And now accounts don't get deleted anymore, so we have no way of knowing. And it was probably a good thing that accounts didn't get deleted because, you know, people stopped coming in the lull between games. Halo Reach and Destiny, we had the period of the darkness, they called it. I guess that's a reference now. And so they didn't want people to come back for Destiny and say, oh, I had an account, now I have to start over, this sucks. But that time is over now, and I kind of feel like account deletion might not be the worst thing in the world. So I don't know.
Well, I think it went from account deletion to, what was the term when they had the member titles and you didn't sign on for a while? Was it absent?
Oh, yeah, there was something like that. It started with an A. Maybe it was absent
I think
member.
it was absent. Roland says
Yeah,
it's
they had absent if you were
Yeah.
gone.
And I remember your account could still get deleted, but I remember there was like a period of time where, well, for 2 years, I didn't really come to the site much, kind of during the Reach era, and I would make sure to, like, every 3 months, I would come back on and just, like, post something just to keep my account, and that's how I got my Mythic member status, because I was a legendary pleb for the longest time. And I would just, one day I signed on after, like, being off for 6 months. I'm like, oh, look, I'm Mythic. Yes.
They're changing up how they... Yeah, they're
locked.
changing... In Destiny,
So-
they're changing up how they do the emblems and stuff. So you got the Mythic emblem. I'm wondering how that's going to affect people who... like, there was an issue where people were getting the Mythic emblem who didn't deserve it because of a kind of an oversight, I guess, or just how the system worked.
Well,
But we won't get into that because it's not something people should do. But because it's kind of a dick move. People earn that, so don't take that from them, kind of thing. But I'm wondering if that new way they're doing the shaders, where everything is stored, is going to affect that at all. Like maybe lessen that problem too. 'Cause Mythic was a big deal in the day, and it encouraged good behavior to an extent. I'd like to see that back, obviously, too. And
yeah, you know, it's everyone has different opinions, and what's funny, Lord Revan, another moderator, and I, we get into friendly but heated debates over, like, gamification, and he's like, he swears it's the worst thing since unsliced bread.
Gamification?
Yeah, like, you know, establishing a set of criteria for how to advance in a site. You know, in theory, everyone should come on here and behave themselves, but people don't. So the debate is, do we create a system, well, not we, but does Bungie create a system to reward people for behaving themselves? And some people say, you know, we shouldn't reward people for doing what they are supposed to be doing, but I think that assumes that people should be behaving themselves, like that's some kind of, you know, behavior choice from birth, or that's kind of that's the default behavior. And I don't really think that's true. I think we're all kind of, people can be assholes, and I don't think they choose to be an asshole. I think they just are an asshole. And so I don't see rewarding good behavior as kind of rewarding the default behavior. I think it's rewarding people for choosing to make rational choices. So I don't mind gamification.
I know in Smite, it's like a MOBA on the PC and Xbox One. It's very fun, but they do a thing where if you don't quit games, you get like a 30% like experience buff or something like that.
Yeah.
And I gotta be honest, that has stopped me from quitting a game once. Like, yeah, instead I'll bring up there's a surrender option. You can do that, but I mean, I've not quit a game that I was like, this is pointless because we're going to lose. Not solely because of that, because I think it's a dick move to quit anyways, but it's definitely been in the consideration. So I think that kind of thing really does help. So like, not that I'm saying Bungie should implement this, because this is just off the top of my head, but like if Bungie did a similar thing, like hey, 30% reputation gains buff for people that haven't quit in a long time or something, I don't know, whatever. I think that kind of thing is great, and if they implemented that in the forums more too, I think that would not get rid of, but help cull a little bit of the toxic part of the community a little bit more.
I mean, you can't fix it all, but there's no reason not to fix a good portion of it.
Right.
And
is it working?
A little bit better, yeah.
Okay, before it cuts out. There's a game I like to play. It's called Fractured Space. If you've never heard of it or played it, I do recommend looking at it. It's actually a really interesting and good game. But they actually track statistics for if you pull up like your player, it shows you, how many kills you've gotten, how many games you've won, how many games you've lost, things like that. But they also log how many games you've quit. And there's no bonus or anything that you get for not quitting. It's just that every time you quit, it gets recorded somewhere. And I found that even that alone is enough incentive to keep me from quitting. And this game as a whole has very few people that actually quit it. Because I think it's something everyone kind of knows they shouldn't be doing that in the middle of a game. And I think just having it logged somewhere is enough to kind of discourage that to an extent.
Definitely, yeah. It kind of goes back to not really public shaming, but just a public record of what's going on, and kind of what I was going to say with gamification is, I don't think there's really an ethical argument to say that it's wrong to reward people for doing the right thing, and that's.
It's positive reinforcement.
Yeah, it is positive reinforcement. It's just classical conditioning, and I even apply elements of like game theory or gamification to like my career, where I know that if I do certain things, I get a reward out of it, be it a promotion or a raise or some kind of something that I perceive to be a reward, and that allows me to do work late or crunch hard on a project, with even though that's something I should be doing because I need to be doing my job. I can get more motivation to get it done because I perceive a reward at the end of it, and I see nothing wrong with that. I'm in the end, objectively, I'm still getting done what I need to do. It's just that I'm leveraging a motivation to do something I'm supposed to be doing. And I think that can be applied to anywhere, including the site, to get people to calm down or not be dicks and not post dicks. I hate seeing all that crap. But.
And I think, again, if my mic is extra shitty, let me know. But
it's being shitty again.
But is it extra shitty?
6 out of 10.
Just
we're not able to hear you again.
Okay, I'll go for it. I think the reason I'm so for member titles is on a big website like what we have now. Before in the community, you would have people that stood out, right? You could recognize people.
Sure.
They could essentially lead by example. And there's some of that to an extent going on. There's certain people that have kind of risen to the top, and you can see, you see them on a regular basis. They post a lot. They do things. But at the same time, it's not to the same extent as before. And in part, that's because member titles kind of helped highlight certain people in the past, but there's just so many people on the website now where relying just on people leading by example doesn't really work because it's so easy to flood them out. If you implement a system that's always there, something static that is always present, you're always aware of it, I think that'll go a lot farther in the long run than just hoping that people will be able to influence others by the decisions they make.
Yeah. And we see some of that with the mentors on how you started with a group of people helping out on the site, and they got rewarded and given this job of basically doing what they were already been doing, but some visibility and a legitimacy to their their actions, and then that kind of propagated, and more people would help, and they get rewarded, and more people would help, and they would get rewarded. But how much can you do that? And you can only reward, and I don't really want to use the word reward because the mentor emblem is not a reward, but you can only acknowledge
It's a
and
bit of a
reinforce.
reward.
What's that?
It's a bit of a reward.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's a self-perceived. That's a subjective reward, but it's not. That's not its purpose. Its purpose isn't to be a reward.
Well, yeah.
But you can only do that with a few dozen people before you saturate it or take additional risks, because they do have some mild site privileges, and you don't want to go doing that willy-nilly. So things like member titles or something else that highlights, as you're saying, highlights a group of users who are behaving themselves. I see nothing wrong with that.
Honestly, I think that goes back into just how large the group is. Private groups do a really good job of segmenting that into more manageable clusters, and just giving private groups the autonomy to set their own ranks would, I think, help enough to keep people in line.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's kind of a lower risk and lower an easier way to get some of those effects without doing it in the mains. So yeah, that'd be cool.
And people care about their standing in a private group too, because that's where the people you really interact with are. Because with how the forums are structured right now, you don't really. It's kind of hard to hold on to a conversation with multiple people. I think that's why in a lot of groups the walls have kind of taken over, because it just makes more sense for conversation, that style, in my opinion. But people care about those interactions. So if they're in a group, they're probably going to behave better because they want to get along with the people in there and that kind of thing. So groups have their own ability to moderate and help the community out and stuff, and I think that's a good thing.
Well, that's kind of, because they are a smaller community, it's a lot easier to point people out, like, oh, they're the bad seed that's screwing everything up, or they're the good people. So they have that power just because they're a lot smaller. You recognize everyone, so your reputations matter. Whereas, again, in the forums, it's so big, it's so easy to do whatever you want and then just get buried under a flood of other posts.
Yeah, and what you were saying kind of reminded me of that one way to get notoriety in the mains, and you see it more in off-topic, is to be a terrible person. And I saw it a lot in the last year and a half, where this tactic of someone will create a new account with some unique name, and then they'll just spam something over and over again for a couple weeks, and then they'll just stop and talk normally. And they've basically irritated so many people that they become infamous, and then all of a sudden now they've established a name for themselves, because that is the only way to get any visibility on the forums in the shortest way.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate.
At least the easiest way.
And people can't seem to ignore those assholes, or excuse me, asshats.
Dickheads.
They're assholes.
Asshats. God, I made a thread about that a long time ago, asshats, and it took off. It was great. But people kind of endorse it a little bit, even not directly. They're oh, that's just the thing that person does. And it only makes it happen more, and then more people come and try to imitate it, and it's stupid. I don't like calling attention to the specifics, but the John Cena thing back a year or two ago, it spawned other people doing it, and the act itself wasn't that annoying because you could just mute it or whatever. But when multiple people start doing it, it's come on, you're just ruining these.
John Cena.
Wait. Burn. Behind you, is that a UW poster?
What?
Behind Burns' head, there's a giant golden W.
Something behind Burns' head.
I think that's University of Wisconsin or something.
Nope.
Nope.
That's red and white.
Yeah. No.
What do I know about Wisconsin?
You should, because it's kind of, not saying it's the best, but it's kind of the best thing since
Whatever.
Dr. B's.
It's like Ohio without all the good parts. And Ohio
It's like-
has some great good parts.
It's like Ohio, except, it doesn't suck.
How many? You're in Wisconsin, right?
I don't know. Am I?
Okay, so how many astronauts do you have? First of all, we have 2 famous ones, so back off. We invented flight, so back off. What does Wisconsin have?
And they have a river that looks like poop.
How much?
Yeah, do you
how
have
much
a river?
cheese do you have down there in Ohio?
What's that? What?
How much cheese do you have in Ohio?
Why do I want cheese? We have like.
Because you're
like,
an American? Have you ever heard of American cheese?
I'm a millennial. We have like over 100 wineries, so you can eat all the cheese. You can get blocked up.
We have
do whatever you
Wullersheim.
want.
We have our own wineries.
Whatever.
Thank you very much.
You can't ferment cheese into wine.
Yeah, my city has the most breweries per capita in the world.
Yeah, well, no one asked you.
Yeah, back up. Here.
We have
Everyone
Miller
knows.
Lite, which admittedly does taste like, urination or something, but nonetheless, we do have it.
Whatever.
Okay,
Wine is second best to tequila for getting some stuff done.
Yeah, you
That's
know how to
all.
wine, all right.
Okay. Yeah, he has Milwaukee. We have Beer City number 1 and 2.
All right.
Wine.
We have John Glenn and Neil Armstrong, so back off.
We have a lake.
We have Nirvana. And Hard.
Whatever.
We also
Seattle,
have-
you
we
can
also
keep
have
your
all 4
hipsters.
seasons.
One thing good for Seattle is being the world's garbage disposal for people wearing tight pants.
Is that why Dimgie's coming to visit?
Yep, that's why Dimgie's there. He lives
Oh.
there now.
Oh, that's
Wisconsin.
right. I keep forgetting about that.
Wisconsin also has Dr. B's.
God
It's
damn
true.
it, burrito. Anyway, so this is going downhill. We need to rein this in.
It's true. There's just too much. There's too large an influx of bees right now. We just kind of got to tone that down.
Okay, someone give me some goddamn insecticide.
Well, one thing I guess I could say, going back to our topic about like good rewards and stuff. We have the mentors who got rewarded for helping people, and I like that kind of thing. Just kind of another pitch for member titles is that the mentor thing, only so many people can have that. Because, like you said earlier, Prom, like they have certain site privileges, so you can't just give that out to people that look like they're helpful. You got to make sure they're actually not going to do something bad with like the ability to move threads and that kind of thing.
Right.
So if we had member titles, that's something like someone could get rewarded for being in help or something, and then they don't have to be a mentor. Or if they're in off topic and they're not condoning people being assholes, they could still get asshats, pardon me, they could still get some kind of on-site reward for that. And that also has a side effect of encouraging people to stick to a single account.
Yeah.
Because obviously if you're switching accounts or changing the gamer tags that are linked to it or PSNs that are linked to it, you're not going to get a higher member title because the account's too new.
I agree, and I had some conversations with some other people a few weeks back about it would be cool to see like a third Bungie bestowed account title or group called like content manager or something.
Webcam
where-
MVP.
Webcam MVP, bring that back. And it'd be cool to
Perfect.
see
Sonic
like a content manager role where you like maybe your likes were more highly weighted, and so just by the stuff you liked, you push that up the trending level, and it'd be something, maybe have more of an automated process for kind of bestowing it. And
Yeah. I mean, they already have something like that where I remember back when Bungie.next came around, Kronos came and posted and said something like, if your reports result in more bans, your reports weigh more or something. And if that's still true, I don't know if it is because it's like 2 years later.
I don't ever heard of that.
I just remember a post about it, but that would be cool to see something like that for likes and stuff. Yeah, absolutely. Maybe make followers mean something, or I don't know, something like that.
Yeah, you can start.
Statuses are very worth following.
But
Status isn't worthwhile. It's cool that we have a lot of these different foundational elements that we could, tie together into things. That we have followers, we have likes, we have groups,
And knives.
and we have knives. And I would love to see like those kind of tied into a bigger purpose for the site. You're just, using those to form new roles or features insight.
I mean, we really can't afford to ship bees to like every bad user, So, oh, we lost Burn too.
Yeah. So it looks like it's just you and I think we're kind of beating this into the ground a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit, but that only goes to show how important it is. I feel.
To us four, we need it so bad. Bring it back.
To the Bungie.net community, not the Destiny community.
All right, man. Well, this has been fun. Any last parting remarks?
I would like to tell everyone that this podcast was brought to you by Dr. Bees and Omelette du Fromage. Remember, eggs are delicious, and influx of bees can solve problems.
Agree.
Oh, the bees.
Yeah, so it'd be cool to see that stuff. But so we'll wrap it up, and see you guys next time.
Okay, bye.